Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Tina Frontera. Welcome to Lake Harriet Spiritual Community, a center for conscious living. And for those of you that are going to be watching on YouTube later, thank you for inviting us into your home. This is a movement and meditation service, which means that I'll be talking on today's topic for about 8 minutes, and then we'll do 5 minutes of movement, another 8 minutes of talking, 5 minutes of movement, another 8 minutes of talking, more movement. We end in meditation, and then there'll be a YouTube that hopefully inspires you for the rest of the day. And the reason we do this is so that the concept sticks. Sometimes you can sit and listen to someone talk, and you walk out of the room, and you kind of say, well, what was that all about? I can't even remember. So movement and meditation helps us integrate things. The topic for today is the attitude of gratitude. That's actually been the topic for the whole month. So when we think of attitude, it's a settled in way of thinking, right? It's an outlook, okay? And it affects our actions. It affects our decisions. It affects a lot of things in life. And sometimes when we think of it negatively, well, they got an attitude, it's somebody that's really stuck in their way of thinking. Or if you say, hey, they've got a positive attitude, you get the sense that this person is thinking optimistically and in an open fashion. And when we think of gratitude, then, it's an active way of saying thank you. It's a state of being. It's really a lot of things. We're not taking things for granted, and we're appreciative. So when we add that together and we look at it spiritually, the spiritual attitude of gratitude, then it really kind of pulls it all together. You're settled into a mindset and a heart set where we're constantly appreciating what we give, what we have, what we get, and it opens our heart. And it's sort of like the song of the heart. And in psychology, there have been studies, and those that are grateful and really settle into gratitude are happier, they have more productive lives, better relationships, and they're able to get themselves sometimes out of tough situations. They're better problem solvers, lots of benefits that they found psychologically. So there's this old story, and the story is about a man who's walking through the mountains, and a mountain lion comes along and starts chasing this man. And so the guy tries to run away from the mountain lion, and he grabs a vine because he notices that he's about to go over a cliff. So he grabs the vine and goes over the cliff. And he's looking up, and there's the mountain lion. He's looking down, there's a bear. Okay? And then he looks up again, and there are mice gnawing at the grapevine. And then he looks straight ahead, and he sees a strawberry. So he picks that strawberry, and he eats it. And he savors it, he's grateful for it, and he enjoys it. So the moral of that story is, even in any bad circumstance, you can always find a good seed in life to appreciate. Okay? So we could also be grateful for nothing. Okay? So it doesn't really have to be a gift that's given to us. It doesn't have to be that somebody gives me that poinsettia. It could be that nothing happened. Okay? I didn't get COVID this year. I don't live in a war zone. I don't live in a famine-infested area. I have not been given a terminal illness disease. So by things not happening, it allows us the time to really savor what we have. It allows us time to focus. So we should be happy sometimes when nothing happens, because that means we can pay attention. We can pay attention. We can also, instead, be grateful for what is happening for us, not to us. Okay? So there's a story of a girl in the 3rd grade, and she has a school project. And she writes, this is 12 years ago, to a World War II veteran, and she writes a thank you note. And her thank you note says, "Thank you for saving us from Hitler. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have freedom. You sacrificed your own life, making the world safer, a better place for me." So that World War II vet got that note 12 years ago. Tears in his eyes, he folds it up, he puts it in his pocket. It stayed in his pocket for 12 years. He did write to her, and she kept his thank you note for her thank you in the memory box. And she developed a interest in the service, okay, the military service. So 12 years later, somebody heard about this story and helped this gentleman find this girl, but she was pretty easy to find, and they connected. And they first talked on the phone, and she visited him. And she visited him in her khakis. She was in the Army National Guard. And they developed a friendship ever since, a bonding friendship where they appreciated each other now for many, many months to come. Okay? So just out of that simple act. So if we become highly responsive to the kindness and the appreciation that we receive from others, it allows us the opportunity to show them, to show love, to show ourselves that we can become that. But we have these themes like attitude of gratitude, which seems simple enough because it's so easy to forget. We get stuck in our daily lives, okay? And humans have this almost unbelievable, infinite capacity for forgetting. We forget sometimes all of this good stuff, and we get all hung up in our crap, okay? Our day-to-day stuff that we got to accomplish, whether it's work or school or whatever it is, family stuff, whatever's going on, and we forget some of these core concepts. And sometimes we resist them too, particularly with gratitude. We sometimes feel, I'm going to be obligated. If somebody gives me something, I got to give back, and I don't know if I have the energy. So we get stuck in that. So my first exercise is always an exercise in getting unstuck. Because when we do that, we can let go of stuff so we can let stuff come in. So I encourage everybody to stand up. Okay, and spread out. You might want to spread out just a little bit here. Give yourself a little bit of room, and we're going to just do some exercises just to shake it out a little bit, right? We're going to get rid of what doesn't suit us anymore so that we can let stuff in. So first, I just invite you to just tap on your chest and take some deep breaths. Okay? This is sometimes where anxiety comes in. You get that tight chest. Or sometimes when you don't want to speak your truth because you're afraid. So just breathe in and out deeply and just let it go. Let go whatever might be blocking you. Breathe it out. Tap it out. Breathe it out. Tap it out. Fear, anger, shame, resistance, sadness, hiding, whatever. Just breathe that out and away. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to take those hands and put them on your back where your kidneys are. And just kind of tap your kidneys, both kidneys, okay? Those kidneys are great things. They get rid of toxins, okay? It's kind of where urine passes through, lots of toxins pass through. Okay, also on top of those kidneys are the adrenal glands, the fight or flight area. It's an organ that has all of these great hormones. It can cause hypertension, can cause lots of things. So just tap it out. Tap it out. If there's anything stuck, tap it out. In Eastern medicine, it's all about unsticking energy, right? Acupuncture, right, is about unsticking energy in stuck pathways. So just tap it out. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to just move those hands back and forth, slapping one hip to the other. Okay? Okay, we're now taking that whole body and just getting rid of, from head to toe, anything that may be stuck in your head, your heart, your belly, your legs. Just let it go. What is it that was bugging you the most this week? And get rid of it. Because you're about to let stuff in, okay? Okay. Okay. And remember to breathe. And now I'm going to ask you to shake those hands. And with your knees slightly bent and your legs slightly apart, so you have a good center, bounce at the knees. Bounce at the knees, and if you want to wiggle your arms, okay? Got to get the whole body, and it's about balance and getting unstuck everywhere, okay? Head to toe. Toe to hands, fingers. Flick off any other stuff off of those fingers and just let it go. Okay. And remember to breathe. Okay, just a few more seconds. And I'm going to ask you to put your hands on your belly. Take a deep breath. And feel gratitude in your belly. Allow it to come in. Move the other hand to your heart. Allow it to come into your heart. Breathe it in. Both hands on your heart. And I encourage you to have a seat. Okay. So, gratitude isn't an emotion. It's an action. Okay? We do something with gratitude. By appreciating it, we amplify it. We help it grow. Okay? And so happiness, if we have that attitude of gratitude, happiness is not what makes us grateful. Being grateful is what makes us happy. Okay? We flip it around. We flip it around. So, if gratefulness is what makes us happy, how can we be grateful for irritating people? Okay? And irritating situations. How can we turn that around in another mindset? When I moved to Minneapolis, I kind of semi-changed careers from being a healthcare giver in a hospital to being in the business of healthcare. And my first job in Minnesota was with this kind of bleeding edge company co-founded by a man who had big mood swings. And he was demanding. It was like I was working in the hospital again. If he wanted information, he wouldn't call a meeting or call you on the phone. He would page you because he wanted it now. And I was in charge of client services, and I had some of our biggest customers that I had to keep happy. And so there was a meeting in Philadelphia with our biggest customer, one of our biggest customers, and he decided he was going to go along. And so we're at this meeting, it's him and I, and it's 6 of these other decision makers at this customer in Pennsylvania. We flew to Pennsylvania together. And he starts blaming the customer. And I could see that this meeting was going south very quickly. And so I, under the table, kicked him. I kicked my boss's boss's boss, okay? And I gave him a stare, and then I quickly tried to turn the situation around so we wouldn't lose this customer. So once we could get out of the meeting and we were in the cab going back to the airport, I had to apologize to him. And I said, I'm sorry I had to kick you. I could tell it was going south. I spend at least an hour a day talking to this customer. And a lot of that is trying to smooth over the mistakes of our company that we made, that you don't even know about, okay? And so nothing happened. He never spoke of it since. And I was even able to get a little promotion sort of later down the line, so it wasn't held against me. And I kind of thought that maybe there was some respect that was earned because I put my job on the line to save the customer. In actuality, he got a gift, because if we would have lost that customer while he, the co-founder, was there, the board of directors would have really had his skin. So he was still irritating, to work with. But somehow it was a little bit different. Every now and then he'd stop by and talk to me and ask questions. So we developed a little bit of a relationship. But most of all for me is I learned so much from him and in that job. I really learned a lot because it was my first real corporate job, and I learned how to manage people up, manage people that reported to me, clients, how to work better with peers. I just learned lots of stuff. It was like my university of business, sort of as an internship. So I really, really appreciated him. So when we appreciate irritating people, it gives us a new opportunity. It gives us an opportunity to learn what? Without them, we wouldn't learn how to practice patience, right? Compassion, kindness, all kinds of things. They give us the gift that we don't want sometimes at the time. But later on, we really get that we got so much out of it. So anytime you're handed a piece of crap, just think of the goodness that could come out of that crap. I know sometimes it's very hard to do, but gratitude isn't passive. It makes us want to achieve more. It makes us want to do something more and sometimes sacrifice our individual gain for some sort of communal profit. Sometimes we want to give. Now, musically, I've never really been a big fan of Dolly Parton, but she wrote this song, and you might remember it, I Will Always Love You, okay? Now, she wrote it, and when she sang it, it was a good song. But then, you remember the movie The Bodyguard, some of you might remember. So that song then was sung in the movie Bodyguard by Whitney Houston, okay? So the first time Dolly heard it, she was in her car, and she said she had to pull over, and because she was just stunned. I don't know if you remember it, but the Whitney Houston was, she just really will always love you. The way she did it was just amazing. Amazing. It would sound really good in here too. But and so what happened is she won a Grammy, okay? Dolly made millions of dollars out of this. And I've only been reading about Dolly lately since the pandemic because she's been highlighted in a couple of things. And anyways, Dolly made millions. So after Whitney Houston died, she thought, okay, what can I do to give back? What can I do to give back? So there's an area in Nashville called Sever Park. And it's the home of Black businesses and families. Okay? And so she decided to build this big multi-use office complex there. And it helped really that whole neighborhood because it was multi-use. She, yes, could use it for herself and for whatever she was doing with some of her music, but also the community could also use it. And it really helped jumpstart that community. And she said, this is the house that Whitney built. Okay? She also gave $1 million at the beginning of the pandemic for research for the COVID vaccination. She's given lots of money for lots of other causes. So when we think of gratitude, the heart opens when we have gifts and we truly appreciate our many gifts. And it allows the small things, such as that thank you note between the little girl and the veteran, to really make a big impact. Or if you have millions of dollars, you can make a big impact. It doesn't matter where you are on that spectrum, okay? But with gratitude and taking that action, we can really make an impact. Evan and I have a friend who, whenever you ask him, how are you? He says, I am blessed. And when you ask him and you talk to him later, he kind of says, I feel like I have a prayer in my head all of the time. How wonderful it would be to feel that connected, to have a prayer in your head all the time, and every time somebody asks you, how are you? You feel like every time you can say, I am blessed. So, the next exercise is to do more connecting now. The first exercise was to get rid of the stuff that no longer served us. Now I invite you to stand up, and the music's going to go on, and now we're going to do some connecting exercises. So with your feet slightly apart, knees slightly bent, so you have a strong stance, just stand there and breathe, sort of like a tree standing in a river. Take some deep breaths. And slowly bring your arms up to heart level. And spread those arms out and back as wide as you can, pushing your chest out, pushing out that big heart of love and gratitude, connecting it with others and the universe. Connect your heart with all the beauty and love there is. Slowly move those hands down and behind your back, where those kidneys were. Just place your hands, the palms of your hands, on those kidneys and just send healing love to them. And thank them for what they do. Thank them for clearing. And just connect with your body. Slowly now, as best as you can, move your hands down the backs of your legs. And we're going to try to connect as best as we can with Mother Earth. If you can touch Mother Earth, great. If you can't, just wave at Mother Earth. But if you can make it all the way down, touch her. Mother Earth is the place that grows everything, right? The food we eat nurtures animals, nurtures us, Mother Earth. Connect with her. Be grateful for her. Be grateful for the ground that you walk on. All of the things that she does. Slowly now, move those hands up the front of your body. Slowly. And back to the belly. Send love and calmness and thanks for your core. The core good human being that you are. Not perfect, but good in core. And breathe. Slowly move your hands to your heart. Remember to breathe. Give thanks to your loving heart. Give love to yourself. Give forgiveness to yourself. Appreciate yourself. And breathe that in. Both hands on your head. Be grateful for your beautiful mind. Give thanks to it. And remember to connect your head with your heart and your body to stay in balance. From your head, hands above, connecting with Father Sky, the universe, sunshine, who works in conjunction with Mother Earth to grow life, to expand life. And now with one hand still up and your palm facing up to the heavens. Take the other hand, slowly move that hand down with the palms down, connecting Father Sky, Mother Earth, the heavens and the earth. Allow yourself to be a conduit of gratitude, of love flowing through you. Now reverse that. The other hand up, the other hand down, because in Qigong we always balance. Again, connecting the universe with the earth. Allowing yourself to be that conduit. Now bring both hands slowly to your heart, bringing the love of Mother Earth and the universe back to you. Breathe in and have a seat. So Thich Nhat Hanh talks about gratitude through a story, and he says, imagine you are on your way to the moon, and your ship basically broke down while you were on the moon, okay? And the only thing that you were left with is to be able to just look at Mother Earth. You were so far away. What would you be thinking then? What would you appreciate about Mother Earth? I mean, and can you imagine being that far away and only seeing it and never being able to be there again? So then he says, now imagine by some miracle, you were able to fix your spaceship and you were able to go back down to Mother Earth. Once you were there, what would you savor? What would you savor? What would you appreciate? What would you have gratitude for? And he said, that is how we should walk on this earth with each and every step today. So, if the only prayer that we ever said was thank you, that's fine. Really, life on this earth is really a true gift. So thank you. I am blessed, right? The Shin Buddhists made gratitude their core practice. So it's not awakening, it's not awareness, it's not enlightenment, it's not karma. But they believe that simply practicing just gratitude is transformative. I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to read a eulogy of a friend who passed away last year. And actually, she was a great supporter of Lake Harriet Spiritual Community. And she was diagnosed several years ago with a very bad, aggressive cancer. She was a gentle, kind, intuitive person. Actually, she helped do a lot with our Intuitive Psychic Festival here at Lake Harriet. And she was blessed with a ton of support here in Minnesota and when she moved to Colorado. And she, through that support, was just able to have a wonderful quality of life. Her wife was very supportive in terms of making sure that everything she ate was the cleanest, non-chemical ridden food that could possibly have so that it wouldn't kind of help along that cancer any further. Her friends were supportive with very meaningful gatherings. She was able to connect in a heartfelt way with so many people. She was able to say goodbye in so many wonderful ways. And the quality of life that she had throughout those years was such that she was able to even sing and join a choir. I mean, she was just able to accomplish a lot of stuff. Go hiking, do some things, just some really wonderful things. And a lot of it was because there were so many people that were there for her. And her wife then described at the funeral some of her last days in passing. And one of them she described that Laura was ecstatic one day on this bridge, just happier than you can imagine anybody could ever be, just truly, truly ecstatic as she was transitioning right on this bridge between life and death. And then there's another story where she didn't really want to have company during this time, but she suddenly felt like she needed to sit up and primp, makeup, hair, whatever, sit up and primp because we have company. We have company. All of these people are around. I can't really recognize who they are, but they're loving people. I know them in some way. And someone is talking to me and I can't really understand him, but I'm being talked to. And I have all these loving people that are surrounding me in transition. So we're surrounded every day in a way on this earth that we don't really fully understand. Be grateful for this. So if we consider every morning and every evening thinking about the gifts that we're given, and we think about it with all of our senses every night before we go to bed, and when we wake up in the morning, we give ourselves room to feel comfortable with it and grow. And so when we combine that with being grateful with our own godliness in our own self, we combine all of that gratitude and goodness in the universe, who we're surrounded by that we know and don't really know, combined with our own godliness, we allow this gateway and this bridge for ourselves to become part of this universal heart. Okay, so I invite you to stand up, and we're going to do our last exercise before our meditation. And this is going to be a little more movement, so you'll want to make sure that you spread out. Again, the same stance, feet slightly apart, knees bent, so you're stable. And going to slowly move our hands up, connecting with the sky. And with one foot slightly out so we're stable, we're just going to part the heavens here, okay? And in a slow, flowy movement, we're going to clear the energy around us. And make more room for gratitude and love to enter all around us. Couple more times, and then we're going to switch feet. One more time. Okay, then the other foot in front. About half a dozen times. Keep with this flow. Clearing it all around you. Clean, clear energy all around you. Okay, come back to center, and with those hands in front of you, palms up, pull it into you and around, kind of like a backstroke, okay? Now that you've cleared the air, bring that love, that gratitude back to you. Allow yourself to assimilate it. Making sure you breathe deeply in and out the whole time. Okay. Now, just some in and out with those arms. Like we did earlier, but with some movement. Opening your heart. Bringing it together. Don't quite put the fingers together. Keep them inches apart. Now with those hands in front of you, put one in front of the other, in front of your belly, about 4 inches apart. And then we're going to slowly put one hand up and the other hand down. And you're going to slowly bring them up and down in a circle. So when your hands are passing, it's a circular motion. You're balancing from head to toe, your male and female energies, passive and active energy, hot and cold, the positive and negative electric ions in your body, balancing them. Finding balance emotionally, socially, physically, and spiritually. Couple more times. And stop. And hold those hands in front of you, as if you're holding a ball of energy, that ball of love that you just created, that ball of good energy that you just created by clearing yourself, your space, bringing love to you, connecting the heavens and the earth. Hold that ball of love and surround it with your hands, just going around that ball of love and gratitude, this gift that you're about to give. Just really shape it out. It can be as big as you want it to be. Okay. Now we're going to take that ball, slowly raise our hands up, holding our ball. And now we're going to release it into the universe. Releasing love and appreciation from you into the heavens and the universe. And we're going to breathe it out even further so it goes further. Although it's got a lot of helium on its own, it's got its momentum on its own. It's going way out there. Okay. Now, bring those hands, palms pointed to your head, and bring some of that good universal energy and love that everyone has just thrown out there, and bring a little piece back to you, when actuality it's a huge piece to your heart. And have a seat. And now we're going to do our guided meditation. And we'll end in a little bit of silence. And I'll ring a bell at the end if you'd like to open your eyes and see the YouTube. But I encourage you now, everyone might have their own way of meditating, For me, if you're not an experienced meditator, I like to have my feet firmly on the ground, touching Mother Earth. I like to have my hands palms up. And when I meditate, I sometimes like to have my tongue to the roof of my mouth. For some reason, connecting somehow, in some way, in another way. But whatever feels comfortable for you, take in some breaths. Deep breaths. And in your nose, imagine it going now from your nose to your lungs, down into your bloodstream, circulating to your feet, back up, out your lungs, that beautiful breath of life that you're breathing. With the next breath and breaths, imagine you're breathing in. And now a white light is surrounding the back of your head, the back of your body, down your legs, up the front of your legs, your chest, surrounding you in light, like a big womb of light, like being in your mother's womb, protected with the love, protected with love, with your own breath and life and love, feeling safe. Now imagine the light of your heart. And that light of your heart now beaming out beyond that protective womb, beyond you, and shining out there into the universe, shining on ancestors, all of those who have contributed thousands of generations of helping you evolve. Look at them with gratitude. See their light. Feel the light of gratitude shining between you, your ancestors, and the entire universe, and just sit in silence and feel it.
Some days we forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves, we take when we should give. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Look beyond ourselves, there's so much sorrow. It's way too late to say, I'll cry tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. We're so long overdue. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and every day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there is a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's love. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though this world needs so much more, there's so much to be thankful for.
Oh, so join me in our closing circle. We're not going to touch hands though, but I'm going to ask folks to, maybe we could fit kind of here. From there to here, closing circle, standing like this, not touching. However you want to distance yourself from your neighbor. And maybe, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, and it could be a scattered circle. What the heck? Okay. Grounding ourselves. So, Mother, Father, God, ancestors, all who love us, thank you. We stand here in gratitude. Gratitude for all there is, all we are, all we have. Thank you. And as we walk out of here today or stay for the next 10:30 service, may we radiate that attitude of gratitude from us to others and help light the world. Aho. Thank you, everybody.